Wolves nil, Man City 4. They've done it again, guys. Man City have done it again. These players that they've signed, oh my god, some of them are. Yeah, I mean this was an incredible start to the season for Man City. The best possible way that Man City could have started the season. They obviously get a massive 4-0 win away at Wolves to kickstart their season. Haaland in the form of his life. I mean, there's not really a point in me just sort of going through the game before we get into the specifics. We may as well just jump straight into it. Like, I saw this starting 11 from City, and I immediately thought, hang on, is there actually a chance that not even that Wolves get a result, but just that we start to see problems? But I'll start with the back line. Obviously, Trafford plays his first Premier League game in over a year. Debut for City, he was amazing, by the way. He was exceptional. Didn't really put a single toe out of line. And then Rico Lewis and Aït-Nouri as fullbacks. Like, they're suspect defensively. They really are. Stones and Diaz as the two centre-back pairings. Obviously, we heard before the game that Josko Gvardiol would be unavailable for the game. So Diaz and Stones were there. And then the midfield is the main thing. I mean, leaving out Marmoush, Cherki. Obviously, we know there was no Rodri. For Gonzalez, Silva with Reijnders, like, that midfield I had questions about. And then the front three of Doku, Bob and Haaland, like, I mean, fair enough. Again, Marmoush and Cherki, like, why are they not included? But I was severely mistaken, because that worked out. It really did. I mean, that defence was untouchable. Aït-Nouri had a very, very good game against his former club. A couple times where he had a couple lapses of concentration, but that was it really. I mean, he actually proved that he can be solid 1v1. I mean, he didn't have that big of a job defensively, but he was offering a lot in attack. And then Rico Lewis was very good too. I mean, for the first goal, that run that he made, plays the ball back to Haaland, taps it in for 1-0. Defence just did their job. And in the midfield, I thought Nico Gonzalez was pretty good. Bernardo Silva put in a very good performance. I'm not going to talk about Tijani Reijnders yet, because my oh my. Jeremy Doku, I thought, was probably City's worst. That was one of the worst games I've seen him play. Usually the criticism with Doku is that whilst he's a brilliant 1v1 player, whilst he's incredibly techy on the ball, in tight spaces, he can get past defenders, there's no end product. With Doku, we saw nothing. And I'm surprised he didn't get hooked earlier, because he was sitting in Hover's pocket. Is that how you say it, Hover? He was sitting in Hover's pocket like the entire game. I thought Hover was one of the more bright players for Wolves. Obviously Haaland, he's an absolute demon at the start of the season. Like, this guy took both of his goals very well. I mean, the first one, tap it at the back post. If we look at his XG, it was probably about 2. Where's his XG? 1.99 XG. Yeah, so that just shows the story. He's just able to get in the right positions. His second goal, that was just the third goal was just the most Haaland goal ever. On the counter, bullies the defender, and then just slots it past the keeper. Like, the guy's just a different breed. And Oscar Bob, oh my god, Oscar Bob was sensational. I was pretty high on him heading into last season. I remember summer 2024, he had an incredible preseason. A lot of people were expecting him to break out, and then he did that injury, which really hamstrung him. He wasn't really able to kick off on last season in the way a lot of people had hoped, and it was because of that injury. It wasn't because of the quality of player, but I'm hoping for his sake that this season is the season where we see that, is the season where we get to see him truly explode and break out into that Pep team. And the fact that Pep's willing to let a player like Savinho go, who wasn't in the squad for an apparent injury, but we know he's likely on his way to Spurs. The fact that he's able to do that just shows how much faith he has in Oscar Bob as a player, because they don't really have any other out-and-out wingers. Like, obviously, Omar Marmoush operates that left-hand side. Cherki can operate the right. And then they don't really have any other out-and-out wingers. Again, Foden I view more as a 10. Can play on either wing. And yeah, let's talk about the star of the show, Tijjani Reijnders. Easily my man of the match. What a performance. The way he was commanding that midfield was ridiculous. He was tackling well, on the ball, the way he was gliding through players, and then his end product. I mean, that he won't get credited with a goal or an assist, but for that first goal, the way he's able to just drive through that midfield, get through the players, send the ball over the top to Oscar Bob, a perfect ball, which allowed him to just cut it back to Haaland. I mean, that was all Reijnders. Reijnders set all of it up. And then his goal. I mean, what a well-taken finish on the counter. That is a very difficult finish. On his outside foot, shooting across his body into the far corner. It was an excellent finish. He placed it so well. And then played Haaland through for the third goal. Did he? Was that him that played Haaland through for the third goal? Or am I imagining things? Yeah, it was. He played Haaland through for the third goal. And that ended the game. And we saw the substitutions come on. Was it after that goal? Yeah, it was after that goal when Pep made the triple sub, bringing on Mateus Nunes, Nico O'Reilly. I actually thought Nico O'Reilly looked quite bright. Did pick up a booking. He actually looked decent. Omar Marmoush, okay. And then Ryan Cherki, what a goal. I mean, the way he took that. Yeah, what a talent. I mean, this guy, it's no secret that technically this guy is at another level. That he's got all the ability. But it's a question on whether Pep will fully trust him, whether he'll be able to fit into Pep's system, because Pep, and when it comes to his central players, Pep likes a player who can play in sort of his system. Whereas Cherki, he's got a lot of flair, and you see in his more central players, Pep doesn't really give players a lot of freedom. And I think he's gonna, and I think that I don't know how he's gonna implement Ryan Cherki in the team. I've heard people say that maybe he starts home games and comes off the bench in away games. That is an option. And I mean, he did a fine, good job at it coming off the bench today. We really got to see his quality. But yeah, I'm interested to see how he goes in this Pep system. Because I do think the fact that there's this common misconception that Pep ruins players, and that's just not true. I don't think Pep's a talent killer. Obviously, it hasn't worked out with a player like Jack Grealish. But I think that's just Pep misprofiling Jack Grealish. Like, Jack Grealish was good centrally. He was good. Yes, he's a winger, but he's good when he's able to drift into central areas and be creative in that way. He's not a touchline winger in the way that Pep played in. Very similar to what's happened with Martinelli at Arsenal. Obviously, they're completely different players, but similarly, Martinelli thrives when he plays more centrally. And yeah, I'm hoping that Ryan Cherki does get the opportunity to prove himself in this City team. Because he's a quality player. Like, I remember I watched him against Man United in the Europa League. He was exceptional. And from just what I've seen of him, like, he looks a quality talent. And then Kusanov, I mean, again, late sub, didn't really have a chance to prove himself. I'll touch on Wolves before I look at I'm just gonna have a brief rundown the other games. I did watch the Spurs game. But I was doing other stuff as well, so I'm not going to make a proper video analysing that. They were shocking. They were absolutely shocking. Defensively, all over the place. I mean, it was an absolute calamity for that first goal. The fact that you're able to let Haaland the best goal scorer in world football, yeah? Over the last 3 years, the guy has been the best goal scorer in the world, one of the best goal scorers we've ever seen in the Premier League based off of the small sample size that he has. Especially a guy that's terrorized them as a club. Like, he has scored 2 hat-tricks against Wolves, scored 4 goals in a game against them. The fact that this guy who's given you nightmares, you just leave him on his own at the back post, I don't understand. These defenders were shocking today. Doherty, you have to retire. You have to retire, bro. I mean, he was shocking. The only defender that was decent, I thought, was Hover. He did a very good job on Doku. He really pocketed him. And then the other players I thought did okay. I mean, Strand Larsen, his finishing was off. He had a chance. He had a couple of chances, actually, he probably should have done better with. Although Trafford really didn't make it easy for him, and those defenders were quite good. I thought Belgrade was decent. You know, there was a lot happening, a lot on his side. He was, I think, 5.8 is so harsh. Why has he got such a low match rating? Wait, they've added distance covered with walk. Oh, mate. Oh, the banter. Yeah, I don't know why he's got such a low rating. I thought he was, maybe because those ground duels won. But I thought he was quite good. Joao Gomez was okay. Can't remember if I mentioned that or not. Why did he get such a low match rating? Oh, they gave him what was an error leading to goal? I don't know. Mensah was... This guy's shit. I don't know how people rate this guy. Didn't make a single save. Yeah, this guy's average. Although, I don't know what he would have saved. But yeah, I mean, City... But yeah, so Wolves, defensively, in shambles. I wouldn't be surprised if Wolves went down. I had them, I think, 16th. But, yeah, I mean, wouldn't be surprised they went down. And these stats don't tell the story of the game. These stats... If you just look at the pure shots and shots on target, you may think, oh, you know, Wolves had a decent game. But the ones that give it away, the XG and the big chances. Because 0 big chances to 2, it was all City. And this actually is quite scary because I don't think City really got out of second gear. I think they were able to beat Wolves comfortably, able to put in an exceptional performance against them defensively, score 4 goals without really getting out of second gear. Again, they only had the 4 shots on target, the 4 goals. They just took their chances when they came. And yeah, I mean, this is a good win for City to start the season, and probably the worst possible way Wolves could have started the season. I mean, this was always going to be a difficult fixture. You know, Manchester City at home. But, yeah, pretty embarrassing. Who have they... If we look at Wolves' run... they had a horror pre-season, but if you look at Wolves' run, Bournemouth away, that's going to be a tough game. West Ham at home is a game that they actually could go on and win. Everton at home, could you get a point? Doubt they'll really do anything against Newcastle. Leeds, another winnable game. So they do have opportunities to pick up points. I just realised that West Ham game is in the cup. And then if you look at City's run on the other hand, I think they actually have a couple difficult games. I know they play Tottenham and Arsenal quite early. Yeah, obviously Tottenham next week. Brighton away is a tough game. Manchester United and then Arsenal away. Like, they've got a difficult run before Burnley, Brentford and Everton, which are games that, again, you're expecting them to win. But I think if you're City, you're going to be looking at winning. I think City have to have high hopes for this season. They have to start well, because with Rodri out, when he gets back in, obviously there's a lot of questions on, will Rodri be fully at the same level that he was in previous seasons off the back of that ACL and the injury setback. So they're going to want to try and look as good as they can without him so they can really get some momentum. They'd be expecting to win. I think if you're City, the goal is to get 2 wins and 2 draws in these games minimum. They'd want to pick up 8 points minimum from these games. Obviously, they're capable of winning all of them. But I'm saying, like, Brighton and United, win those 2. Maybe... No, I'm thinking 3 wins and a draw. I'm thinking that's the goal. The goal is 3 wins and a draw. It's just, say, draw to Arsenal and then win 2, draw 1 from these 3. I think that's probably like the minimum that they're looking at. Although internally, I mean, the mentality, they're just going to want to win all of them. And there's no reason why they can't. But let's take a brief look. Oh, they've added this fixture difficulty thing. That's interesting. But let's take a brief look around the Premier League. Obviously, lots of Saturday action. Fulham, I did see the goal. I did see Muniz's equaliser. It looks like both these players who scored are actually on their way out, it seems. O'Reilly could be going to Serie A, I think, and Muniz wants to leave too. But yeah, Brighton are going to be disappointed at home to drop points in the fashion that they did, especially because I actually have a lot of high hopes about Brighton. I think that they're in for a very good season. So yeah, Fulham, big result. Oh, I didn't look at the early kickoff. I didn't watch this game. I was sort of just looking in and out on it. I wasn't properly watching it, but I mean, yeah, both teams. This was a game that both teams think they probably could have won, but I think they'll both sort of settle for a draw in the end. I mean, Anthony Gordon up front. That's interesting. Sunderland, incredible, just incredible. Like to open your first Premier League season in years. Like, when was the last time Sunderland were actually in the Premier League? 16-17, which is when they had their infamous back-to-back relegations, and then they've slowly climbed their way up to get back into the Premier League, where they're currently second in the league. But yeah, that's a massive win for them. 3-0 away at West Ham, and West Ham there's a lot of problems. Like, Graham Potter could be in trouble. Could be in trouble if he doesn't fix things, because with the money that they've spent over the past couple of years, the fuck, 4.9. 16 duels lost. Oh my days, this guy's wank, bro. That's ridiculous. And then Tottenham-Burnley was the game that I did watch. Richarlison took both his goals very well. They were the same goal. Kudus is amazing. Like, just byline, cross the back post, acrobatic finish. That happened twice. And yeah, Spurs weren't even that good. But few moments of brilliance, beat Burnley 3-0. These lot are in trouble. The only reason that I think Burnley are going to finish 20th is because there's no 21st. Like, they're really bad. But yeah, I mean, look, big win for Man City. 4-0 win against Wolves. I will come out with a preview for the Man United game. I'll start recording right after this. I've got a lot of things that I want to say about that game. But yeah, City are fucking terrifying. Cherky and Reijnders could do bits for them this season, and obviously the players that they've already got with the mentality, the experience that they've already got, they could win the Premier League. A lot of people were writing them off. I had them finishing narrowly behind Liverpool. I can't believe I had people putting them fourth. That's ridiculous. Anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.